Martin Scorsese's upcoming swan song of the mafia world boasts some of the genre's biggest stars: Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Harvey Keitel and Joe Pesci. Also in the movie are celebrated actors that Scorsese has worked with through TV shows such as Boardwalk Empire and Vinyl, such as Bobby Cannavale, Ray Romano and Dominic Lombardozzi. One such actor who is also in the film is British actor Stephen Graham, who already has numerous experience with crime cinema, having been handpicked by Scorsese to play the infamous Al Capone in Boardwalk Empire, playing babyface Nelson in Michael Mann's Public Enemies, and the hapless Tommy in Guy Ritchie's Snatch. Graham also had a supporting role in Scorsese's Gangs of New York, playing the character Shang. Graham spoke to Radio X, where he mentioned that he received a call for a role in The Irishman from his agent, but in order to nab the part, it wasn't simply a case of picking up where he left off with Scorsese, but he'd also have to impress Robert De Niro. He said, "It was a Wednesday and my agent phoned and said, 'You have to go to New York on Saturday morning.' And I was like, 'What? Martin is doing this film, he's interested in you playing the role, but you have to go and meet Robert De Niro.' So you can imagine, as a kid growing up in a block of flats in Kirkby, always wanted to be an actor and brought up on Scorsese films and De Niro films, it was a big thing flying out there. So I get there and he's a bit late, but I've seen Marty and we're having a chat, and the casting woman goes, 'Look, he doesn't really talk much, so if you don't get much, back off him, don't worry.' And anyway, they had to come and knock on the door and get me out because I was going to miss my plane. I was there for 2 hours and we were just chatting. He's such a wonderful man. People say these crazy things, like you should never meet your heroes, but he just put me at ease, asked me how I got into acting, where I was from, my background, and my heritage. It was amazing. After that meeting, I went, 'Well, you've got to tell me what's going on. You can't just leave me like that. Have I got it?' He was like, 'Okay, give us a couple of minutes, kid.' And he comes back and said, 'I'll let Marty tell you.' And he comes back in, and he was like, 'Right, you want to do this, kid?' And I was like, 'Yeah.' If I was a footy player, it would be like getting a call to say you're playing in the Champions League final. It was unbelievable. And I felt like I'd been made. He gave me a bit of a cuddle and said, 'You're going to be great, kid.' On set was unbelievable. I really like Graham as an actor. I think he's just brilliant and extremely versatile and talented. He's ridiculously good at accents, especially when you consider he himself has such a strong Scouse one, and it's amazing seeing him as a bumbling imbecile in films like Pirates of the Caribbean and Snatch, and then utterly terrifying and manic in This Is England and Boardwalk Empire. I think he'll be a major asset of The Irishman. In fact, I mentioned in a previous video that I think he'll end up as the dark horse of the film, given that we aren't going into the film to watch him, but he might end up being one of the more memorable aspects of the movie. The role Graham has is a good one. He's playing mobster Anthony Provenzano, probably the closest thing the film will have to a direct antagonist. To summarize the nature of his character, in the wise words of Frank Sheeran, Provenzano is an asshole. He has a Napoleon complex, he's a bully. Sheeran mentioned how he would kill you for nothing, even being more popular and well liked. Provenzano starts a beef with the character played by Al Pacino, and things start to spiral out of control. The problem is, despite the fact that no one seems to like Provenzano and his antics, he is extremely powerful, both politically as the vice president of the Teamsters Local 560 and in the Mafia as a captain of the Genovese crime family, the most powerful of the 5 New York crime families. I think it's a really good part, a prominent supporting role and a character that I think audiences will love to hate. I'm looking forward to seeing what Graham can cook up. Thanks for watching.